Since Spacies.
G'day invaders and welcome to Since Spacies, and this is the state of the channel video for February. We're up to February already and we're going to look back at January. We're going to look back at the videos that you guys watched, the top 5 videos for my channel. We're also going to look at what videos I've got coming up. I thought it was a really quiet month, but I looked back at the videos I did. 8 videos for the month, that's not too bad for me and my channel. I usually do less than that. I will promise you that I will try and put out more videos and more content for 2018. What you might not have noticed in my last video, I was doing this a lot. And that was because it's so hot in this room. At the moment it's actually not bad, we've got a bit of a cool change. But the reason why I don't do too many videos at this time of the year is that this room turns into a bit of a furnace. So yeah, that's the reason for that. I'm sticking to that excuse. Anyway, the top 5 videos for my channel in January. We'll start with number 5, which was my Kid Chameleon in the Mega Drive, the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection series. And I was playing Kid Chameleon, and yeah, I'm not overly thrilled with that game. It has some historical references, I guess, but from a Sega point of view. But yeah, I just didn't feel. I think they could have done with more development time with that game and a save feature. Oh my god, that game needs a save feature so badly. Which is good with the Mega Drive version on the Xbox. You can save, so I guess it's got that running for it. Also, number 4 was my Something Amazing Happened on my channel video, and that was in relation to my award. This guy, yeah, I got Small YouTuber of the Year for 2017 from Maz Gaming. Hi Mark and guys over at Maz Gaming, big thank you. I can't express how thrilled I am to have this. Something funny happened last night on Twitter. Actually, this is actually really cool. I wanted to see my photo up against 891 and also Chris Whitehead, and have his trophy. I wanted to see if we could get our pictures up on Twitter, each of us showing our trophies. And Chris Whitehead, in case you don't know who that is, he's the guy that created or helped lead the charge for Sonic Mania, the game of the year for 2017 on Maz Gaming's channel. And I gotta say, I kind of agree with that. It's actually highlight of the year, although Zelda kind of snuck past and beat it on my channel. But I wanted to get a picture of us holding our trophies, you know, side by side. And the guy, Chris Whitehead, he didn't reply. And I got shirty and I said, yeah, you get all big now and you think you're so hot shot because you're a big time developer and you don't answer. And he replied. I wasn't expecting that at all. So now I'm not only followed by the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog from Japan. I'll prove that. I'll show the graphic there. But also now managed to get not a follow, but at least a response from Chris Whitehead. So that was pretty good. And I didn't realize until last night. Call me stupid or whatever, but I didn't realize he was an Aussie. Am I wrong? Is that he's an Aussie? Am I right? Can someone confirm that? I didn't realize he was Australian. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I'll move along. I just had that realization last night for the first time and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Number 3 on my channel was Gaming Since Spacies. This is the new series that I'm taking on where I look back at each year of gaming. That's a lot of years I've got to cover. And I'm starting all the way back at 1978 and that game of the year. Spoiler alert, it was Space Invaders. But watch that video. I'm trying to do a few things on scene. I take you, a plane's going over as we speak. We'll continue on. I take you to the scene of where I played my very first video game. And I can't promise that I'll be doing stuff like that on every one of these videos, but I will try. I've got a couple of more on-site locations that I want to explore where something relevant happened in those years. I got to take a little trip down to Cronulla and point out a significant place down there to introduce these videos. So they take a little longer to produce those videos because I do actually have to leave this room and go on site. I will try to get one of those up on the channel maybe once every 2 weeks, but I won't promise that. But I'll be pushing to see if I can get one of those on the channel for once every 2 weeks, hopefully. So yeah, and basically, in case you haven't already watched the video, please watch the video. It's just a look back on each year. I will go into what consoles were released in that year, the significant gaming video game events that took place in that year, and I will name 3 nominations for Game of the Year, and I will announce which Game of the Year took out the top spot for that year. Again, Space Invaders. Just saying. Number 2 was my nasty Nintendo knockoff, and again, spoiler alert, it was the NES. So this one was sent into me to my PO box, and that was a knockoff clone console. Now I didn't realize this until just recently. I don't have any other clone consoles. The only one I've got, I guess, would be the Mega Drive console, which is down there. It's an official clone though. It's not trying to be a knockoff, whereas this is straight out just copyright rip-off. It's got 500 free games, and some of them are just like, what the hell. There's a game here in amongst this list called Alice Cooper. I have no idea what that is. And there's another one called Making Love, or Love Making. I don't know if I want to touch that. Anyway, and my number 1 video for the channel in January was my podcast. Another bloody gaming podcast, number 5. If you haven't watched that video, please do. It's got quite a few of us on there. The biggest panel I've ever had on a podcast, and I somehow managed to pull it off without everyone talking over the top of each other. So that was pretty cool. And coming up for my next podcast, which leads me to my next topic, the videos coming up. We've got, yes, another bloody gaming podcast being recorded in 2 days' time as of recording this video. And that will feature Uncle Chumped. It will also feature Luke Street. Who's Luke Street? Well, if you don't know who Luke Street is, you might know his Offsider. And Top Hat Gaming Man's going to kill me when he hears me say that. Top Hat Gaming Man, that's right. So Luke Street's part of the sub channel that's running now off Top Hat Gaming Man's channel. Top Hat Chat, Gaming Chat, I think it is. I'll leave a link, you'll see a link. But those two discuss issues and topics gaming related, and I just figured it would be good to have them on the panel rather than having Top Hat Gaming Man by himself. I figured it would be good to have Luke on there just to keep Top Hat Gaming Man in check. We'll see how that goes. That's going to be a pretty awesome podcast. I'm looking very, very much forward to hosting that and putting it on my channel. And also the other videos I've got coming up, my Gaming Since Spacies. The next one is the 1979 video, looking back at the events. It's going to be a very short video, that one. Not much happened in 1979, but I'll try to see what I can produce on that video. Also, I'll be continuing on with my Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. I'm up to Phantasy Star 3 with my Let's Plays on that. Basically, I walk you through the first half an hour of a game. I cut it down so that it's not boring to watch. Hopefully. And so yeah, I'm up to Phantasy Star 3, and then the next one after that is the ever awesome Phantasy Star 4. And my intentions for that series is, once I get through the Mega Drive titles, I will then go on to the extras, because there's like 10 or so extras that were also on that compilation of games, including some arcade games and some Sega Master System games, and I think there was a Game Gear game, if I'm not mistaken, and a couple of other weird oddities as well. But I'll also talk about some of my pickups. I went to the Gamesman and I got myself an NES Classic Edition casing, which I'm not using because I don't actually have an NES Classic, but I'm using it for my Super Nintendo Mini. The reason why I've got one of these is because I do a lot of traveling, and yeah, I know people are going to say, oh, you can just take the Switch with you, but the Switch doesn't have classic gaming. It doesn't have retro gaming, and you know, sometimes I like a break from the HD graphics. I do play a lot of HD gaming, as you probably wouldn't think so looking at this room, but I like the NES, the Super NES, and the NES and the Famicom, because it takes you back to a simpler time. And sometimes those games are really cool because you can get into it, have a quick game, and then walk away from it and not feel like you haven't finished an ongoing saga. The exception to that though is that this has got also Final Fantasy 3, which is actually 6 or something in Japan. But I've hacked this, so I've got Chrono Trigger on this as well, and I've got a couple of other games, Secret of Mana, which did come with that compilation. But I also got a few other games in here that will keep me occupied while I'm out and about. So yeah, I picked up that. I also got from the Gamesman, trying to think of what else I got from the Gamesman. What did I pick up from there? Oh yeah, Lakers versus Celtics, the NBA playoffs. I bought this on the hope that I thought that I was picking myself up a rare game, and apparently it turns out it's not. Now there is a version of this game that is super rare. It is the PAL release, and apparently there's only like 160 or so in existence because it was a bit of an error or a screw up on EA's behalf, and then they retracted it. I don't know. There's a long story. Do some research online and type in Lakers versus Celtics NBA playoffs PAL edition, and you'll see a story there about how that is a rare game. That's not the PAL edition though. I wish it was. I also got myself World League Basketball, otherwise known as Tecmo Basketball, on the Super Nintendo. I used to play the crap out of this back in the day. I love this on the Super Nintendo, and I tried playing it again just for the first time in like 20 years, and I can't get my head around the buttons now. The pass button is now the shoot button, and it's all muddled up. So if I get myself back into that, I might be playing that a little bit more, but I won't be playing it on my regular Super Nintendo. I've retired my Super Nintendo because I've now got the Super NES hacked. So the Super Nintendo is now retired for the time being until I feel like I should get it out and play it again. I also got myself Dissidia Final Fantasy, still sealed. It's sealed. That won't be sealed for long. I don't keep my games sealed, just for the record. But yeah, I picked that up for the PSP. Can't wait to get into that. Now, also some other pickups for the month. Got myself a Sonic the Hedgehog plush thingy. He talks. I've got to find out where. Where do you squeeze for him to do it? His head, his stomach.
You can really go for a chili dog.
Okay, what else does he say?
Dramatic moment. Time to take in the trash.
Right.
Too slow? You forgot who you're talking to.
Okay, yeah, so he says 4 phrases. Bit rich, $30, but, you know, I'm a huge Sonic the Hedgehog collector, so I had to have it. And speaking of Sonic the Hedgehog, I also picked up a Pops Sonic. Yeah, I know. I don't buy these. This is the only one I've ever bought, and this will probably be the last unless I can get my hands on that Super Sonic. That looks awesome. And Shadow. They got a Shadow and a Shadow with Chaos. Anyway, I also picked up my very first Famicom games. I've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had that given to me from Japan, and also Space Invaders. Someone went overseas and they showed me this and bought it for me. They also bought for me, I don't have it here, but I'll put the picture up, a Famicom keyboard for the Famicom, the original. That's a pretty, you know, handy little thing to have in a collection. One day I might actually have a Famicom to go with it. We'll see what happens there. So yeah, that's the pickups for January. And also what I've been playing, basically Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And also, I've been playing Assassin's Creed, the God Edition on the PlayStation 4. So they're the things that have been keeping me occupied in January. Also, don't be afraid to send stuff in. I've got some really cool things coming onto the channel from my mailbox, and you can send stuff into PO Box 192, Jannali 22226 Australia. Got a couple of things coming via the post box. One cool thing that did come into me, just got to try and track. I've got too much stuff around here. I got to find my mate Andrew Yoshimura, who I follow on Twitter. He sent me in this from Japan. Now, he didn't give it to me. I asked that he buys it for me because he posted up a picture of it from Japan, and he was kind enough to go back to that same bookstore and pick me up a version of this. What is it? It's a book that goes back into the history of Game & Watches. Now, I do intend to do a video on my Game & Watch collection one day. I've just got to decide how I'm going to go about doing it, so that's something that's coming up on the channel. But yeah, this book is really fantastic. It goes into the history, and once I do my video on Game & Watches, I'll probably highlight this book a little more. One last thing, I know this video has gone on a lot longer than I expected it to. One last thing that I want to talk about real quickly is that this room is going to undergo a big change. There's a bed here off camera. I'll just show you. I'll just see if I can quickly show you that. See the bed? So yeah, that bed is going to go. I'm donating the bed to a neighbor, and it's going to be out of here. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these plushies and the bed sheets and all the other stuff. I guess they're going to just get packed away or whatever. So what does that mean for the channel? Well, there's going to be a whole stack of things moving around in here. I haven't got much room at all. It doesn't look like a really small room, but trust me, it's like a cupboard in here. But the fact that this bed is going, what that means for the channel is that I'm one step closer to getting my arcade machine right here, just here. I can't wait, but it's in process, it's in progress. Sorry. We'll see how that goes. I've got to talk to the Minister of War, the wife. She's got to okay that. It's not cheap. We're looking at about $1,400 for what I want. People send in questions to me all the time. Why don't you build your own? I haven't got time. I do full-time job. Any spare time that I have got, I put to this, or if I have got spare time, I'm playing games. So for me to waste any time putting that towards building my own arcade machine, it would be cool. It would make a good video, but I also don't have the confidence in myself. I'm not that good with electricals and whatnot, and also building things. If I built my own arcade cabinet, one day I'll be doing a let's play and the whole thing would just fall apart. Although that would make a cool video. Anyway, I think I'm rambling on a bit, so I just would like to do a shout out quickly to my patrons. We've got the Gaming Archaeologist, Sarah Wilson, the Bitvolt, and Tom. Imaginative name there, Tom. Anyway, now Tom's a new guy. I shouldn't put any slack on him. He's signed up just recently, and glad to have you on board as a patron. And if you want to join up the Patreon list, you'll see the link just above, and you can join for as little as $1 a month. $1 a month. You're not going to miss it, but it will mean so much to me and my channel. Please subscribe and like if you haven't already done so. I think I'm going to get out of here and play some more of this Xenoblade Chronicles. My name's been Brian, and I've been gaming since Spacies. Thanks, guys.
Since Spacies.